Morning. Who else is feeling Saturn lately? Me and my best friend. And God bless her. And God bless that I have her. I wouldn't feel nearly as sane as I do. But alas. Hello. Should I sit in the middle? Should I sit in the middle? I feel weird. I feel weird sitting in the middle because there's just so much space around me. Anyway, whatever. Get used to it, girl. Probably just what looks better. Anyway, okay, hi. I've been feeling Saturn lately, and yeah. I've been feeling bratty. I've been feeling defiant, and it's. Do I talk about the weekend? Nothing really happened. It's just being thrust into the feeling of limitations, restrictions, feeling like a kid that wakes up on a Saturday morning and, like, I used to do this. I used to wake up on a Saturday and I used to, like, see, I'm a Virgo moon, I'm a Virgo everything, but I used to wake up on a Saturday and, like, see my room messy and be like, I'm gonna clean my room, and then go out and have breakfast every night. And then my mom would be like, can you clean your room today? And I'd be like, no. Fuck you, actually. You've ruined my day. And that's how I felt all weekend. And it wasn't for nothing. And that's what I kind of want to go into, is that, God, the way that, like, ego reaction around all of this just really humbles you. really just fucking humbles you. And I'm having some earthly rememberings. That sounds, like, annoying to say, but it's true. So if you need to, like, if you're in a similar spot, if you're in a similar spot and need some commiseration, and if you need the same reminder, don't feel bad about it. I feel like it's going to be a thing that we remember for the rest of our lives all the fucking time, because I even have the best intentions. But alas. Anyway, I walked into this weekend. Context. I live somewhere that's beautiful and people want to come and see it because it's beautiful, and they have the right to, because we love traveling and we love seeing new experiences, and, like, it's a beautiful place, so, like, you're allowed to come here. And, like, my qualms aren't actually with tourists. My qualms are with myself. And the way I'm not really liking my hair today. It's looking really flat. Anyway, bye. My qualms are with myself and how I deal with it. That's the whole point of this video. But that's the context of going into this weekend. It's a long weekend. I live somewhere beautiful. People want to come on holiday. It's coming into spring. The flowers are blooming. The sky, it's been the most beautiful weather. Of course people want to come. And they want to go hiking and they want to go camping and they just want to be, like, in the cute little town, and they want to, like, buy all the cute little things and support local business, which is beautiful. We need that. But also, if you speak to any of the locals that live anywhere in a place like that, you'll have different levels of qualm, and you'll cycle through life being different levels of accepting and okay of the whole thing. I'm going to be playing with my hair a lot because I'm continuously in a battle of not being okay with how flat it is up here. So deal with it. I also just like playing with my hair because it's really soft right now. And so even though it's flat and I should probably, like, wash it, I don't know, I actually washed it on Saturday. I washed it yesterday. So why is it... I don't have any of those answers to those questions, Annabelle. We don't have any of those answers. All we have is what we have. And I like playing with my hair. Anyway, so I came into the weekend and we were talking about it at work on Friday. Everyone's like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, staying inside. I'm staying inside. Because I know myself. I don't like crowds. I don't like places. I don't want to deal with the traffic. I don't want to sit in my hot car. I'm gonna stay inside. And then I had my Friday night, and then I woke up on Saturday, and it was just the most beautiful day. It was the most beautiful day on Saturday. There was no wind, because it's spring, it's a little bit windy sometimes. There was no wind. It was, like, kind of warm. It was so beautiful. I had done everything in my morning, and it came to, like, 10 o'clock, and I just wanted to go to my favorite cafe and journal, and I really wanted to go out. Like, I really wanted to. And I said to myself, I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to know. I'm going to know that traffic's going to be shit, that there's going to be people, and I'm just going to have to be okay with it. Long story short, I wasn't. I came home Saturday afternoon in a shitty mood, annoyed, bitter, resentful. Woke up on Sunday, same feeling. I was in a shitty mood, even though Sunday was beautiful weather, and I was in a shitty mood that I was in a shitty mood. I was angry at myself for being angry. And I had to sit down. I had to sit down and have a moment with myself to be like, what's going on, girl? And the only word that would come out of my journaling was limited. That's what I felt. I felt limited. And like I said, it wasn't as if that wasn't wrong. You know, like, I did feel limited because that can sometimes be like that confusing thing where your emotions are like confirmed by your reality and then you just feel stuck, which is that Saturn kind of catch, is that like you're responding to your situation and all you're left with is like, oh, I feel like shit. And that's like, damn it. And no wonder you get bitter and resentful and twisted. Like, that can at least be the cycle that you go down. And that's where I was at. And I was like, I don't want to be bitter. I'm going to journal. And it took me on the journey of realizing that I forgot who I was. And I chose to be a bit of a child about it, which is a natural response to Saturn shit. It's not as if that's like, I don't think I've done anything wrong in the progress of like walking through this lesson. I think when you map it out, it's like, that makes sense. You're imposed a limitation, you respond like a child. Ideally, I don't do this for the rest of my life, but I understand why I did. Because, I was in the shower on Saturday morning and my little heart was glowing. I was so excited. No wonder I wanted to go out. And I can go back and I can say like what I should have done. But obviously I couldn't have done it. Obviously I needed to do what I needed to do that day because that's all I could have done with the person and the awareness and the consciousness that I had in that moment. I accept it. But moving forward, what I'm learning and what I eventually like came to learn and integrate and then passed on to my friend, like my bestie, I love her, Capricorn, twin. Ended up having a phone call with her that night and she was going through a bit of a similar thing. I guess hers was more, actually no, both of us were around like expectations. And I guess like mine, I feel like mine was coming through some defiance, but I think maybe hers was like, she didn't speak as much from defiance. Like her process seemed to be more around having to confront expectation of herself and then feeling let down and then feeling that same feeling of like shit. Whereas I think I was just being like defiant of like wanting to control my life and not wanting to be at the mercy of the situation that I was in and not wanting to accept and surrender to the situation, the reality that I was in, which was like, how do I encapsulate it? Like it is what it is. It is that the place that you live is going to be flooded with people and that's going to have rollout on like the kind of spaces you want to go into and the kind of interactions you're going to have to like put up with and the kind of sensory issues that you're going to face. And I tried to do the defiant thing. I tried to get what I wanted by doing whatever I wanted, like a child. And sometimes that works. I guess that's also the caveat that I want to speak about is like sometimes it works. Like sometimes defying limitations is good. And to challenge that, you do learn something. You can push your boundaries and you can grow and you can have that kind of, I don't know, you can kind of gain that value from that experience. And so I don't want to say that that's not a way you can't go, like that's not a way you can go with this. But what I'm saying is I had a reaction. I had an ego reaction. I was just wanting to do whatever I wanted to do because I wanted to do it and I wanted to get my way. So I wasn't chasing this whole, like, I thought I did, because I felt so like, I want to go outside, I want to have a beautiful thing. I think I thought, and I was telling myself, I was facing myself the reality and going, there's going to be traffic, there's going to be people. And I was like, yep, that's fine. But I forgot to, like, check in with, like, who the fuck I am. Which is like, hey, Annabelle, you can lie to yourself and you can tell yourself that you're going to be, like, you can say there's going to be traffic and you can tell yourself that you're going to be okay with it. But when you know who you are, you're not okay with it. Like, I get pissy and I get shitty when, like, the reason why my trip goes from taking 12 minutes to, like, 30, sometimes 40, it's because of this particular stretch of the highway that people are going up this hill and we have to merge. And you know, merging lanes where there's, like, one lane and there's another lane and it eventually cuts off. And every motherfucker and their mom tries to, like, butt in. And it makes, I shit you not, it turns a 12-minute drive into because the rest of the road. Yeah, there's congestion. Or, like, yeah, you can't do 80. You can't do 70. Maybe you're doing, like, 60, 50, but at least you're constantly moving. But then we get to that point. I know who I am. Look at me getting fired up about it now. So yeah, I can't deal with that traffic. I can't. Like, that's something I know about myself. But I was like, that's gonna be there. And it's like, and it's as if just because I told myself that was the reality, I just forgot who I was. And I forgot, like, the actual implications of what that would mean. Just because I wanted to do what I wanted to do and I didn't want to feel limited. I didn't want to feel limited and I didn't want to feel restricted. And I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Child. And, like, what I'm understanding is maybe that would work if I was someone who actually could have patience for that traffic. And maybe one day in the future I will. But I need to be real with myself. I need to be real with myself. And I did the first step, which was recognize the reality. Okay, these are the restrictions that are currently being imposed onto me. How do I genuinely feel about them? And not reacting, not from a reactive, I want what I want and I don't want to be in a position where I can't get what I want. How will I genuinely feel if I push these restrictions? And if the answer is pissed off and in a shitty mood, then maybe I go, okay, let me also check in with myself and every subsequent weekend that's come before this weekend that I've been perfectly happy staying at home. And maybe I remember that about myself and go, okay, what experience do I want? I want the experience of, like, peace. I want the experience of being outside. I want the experience of being somewhere that, like, I didn't want to stay in my house. Like, I wanted to journal, like, out. How can I give myself that experience without sending myself insane? Like, working within the restrictions that are given to you that aren't in your control. And it doesn't have to be the end of the world that they're not in your control, but it just is what it is. Like, I guess that's the thing of, like, earth navigation, like navigating the material realm, is that, like, sometimes things just are what they are and you can't do anything about them. It is not within your control, but it is in your control to surrender and accept and, like, work yourself either within it or around it or away from it. And I guess, like, I processed that and I was like, okay. And then I had a nice day on Sunday. I immediately was in a better mood. Like, we journaled it all out, different levels of, like, confrontation that I was having with myself, accepting the different, because it wasn't just that, there was also, like, some financial restrictions that I was feeling, just other stuff. Ended up having a really lovely day. Ended up, like, baking a cake, because, like, I ate a cake on Saturday that had gluten in, and it, like, it made my mood worse because my tummy was upset. And so I was in the traffic with an upset tummy, but I wanted a sweet thing and I didn't have any sweet stuff at home. And so on Sunday, I made a cake. I made a cake with the fuck ton of oranges that I have here. And like all the ingredients that I had to make a cake. The cake that I love. Orange almond cake. I love orange almond cake. Oh my god, it's one of my favorite cakes. So I made a cake. And I journaled. And it felt nice. It felt nice to just go, oh, Annabelle, remember yourself. Remember that like you actually have so much happiness within your house. So I tidied my house, I tidied my kitchen, I made me a little cake, and I feel a little better. And then my friend, and then I talked to my best friend, who's a Capricorn, who we often struggle with the same kind of things, and she was having an absolute fucking meltdown. It's fair enough. Her life has been what it is, and long story short, her meltdown was in similar nature, but she's been working a lot recently, and yeah, sparing the details, she's had a week off that she's had to take just to like to be able to like recoup. And this girl has been a Capricorn. She's been stressed. She's been facing a lot of life. Her life's been changing a lot recently. And she had her first day on like a break, and it didn't go as it planned. And she wound up feeling that feeling of like, fuck, I don't feel good. I don't feel like I have options. I feel like I'm restricted. I am struggling to accept this situation, and I don't know how to be okay with where I'm at right now because it doesn't feel okay, and I can't see how it can be okay. And we like whittled it around, and like obviously we had a massive talk, but it came to this head of checking in with reality, with where she'd been, what she'd been going through, which is like, yeah, holy shit, your body and your mind, whether you've been consciously aware of it, but then your unconscious has been taking on a lot of load. There's been past stuff that's come up, like you have been stressed and inflamed and treading water. Like bitch has been treading on the high seas. You know what I mean? Like she's been, and her head hasn't been above water the whole time. She's dipped. She's taken in some seawater. It hasn't been fine. It hasn't been okay. And so of course she's going to get this break, and her mind and her body is going to go, oh my God, I have 7 days to breathe. And as you always do, as you always have like stress time, like it's like oftentimes people go on holiday, like people have a holiday booked and they'll have stress, and then they'll like go on the holiday and they'll get sick. Classic case of like your body's been holding a lot of fucking tension. It's been getting inflamed. It's been coping up fluid. And then you can relax and your body's trying to release it all out and clear it and cleanse it all out. Like that's, when you think about it, makes sense. She wasn't getting sick, but like it was a similar kind of purging, kind of like she'd been holding a lot. And it was like going back to that treading water, like treading, so it was as if she'd seen this island. And I guess her expectation going into it, which is a lot of people's expectation, it's like you find the island, you walk on the island, you're like, yes, I am on an island. Oh my God, I'm having the best time ever. Give me a coconut. Like, let me have a good time. Where instead the reality of like having been drowning in the sea and then finding an island is you are scraping yourself up that shore. You are still getting hit by waves, even though they're this big. And you're like, can you just fucking stop? Like, oh my God, like I finally found a way. Just give me a break. Give me a break. And you get on the shore and you can't fucking stand up, girl. Your legs are dead. You're a noodle. You're a noodle on the shore. Oh my God. And you are coughing up seawater. You are suffering. The suffering is continuing. And sometimes that can be a really hard thing about like the whole rest, recoup, recovery, nurture cycle, is that when you are in a spot where you're treading water in life, and when you feel like you're struggling and like, your ship's sinking, you feel like that's the struggle. And so you feel like when you have a rest, like you should immediately start getting better. But like you go from overwhelm to having, like you go from overwhelm and coping, and like you're coping. Then you crash. And then you like have a reality check and you're going, oh fuck. And then you start to recoup, and then you have to nurture yourself. And that's not easy, because often if you've had a fucking crash, it doesn't feel fair either. If you've been crashing the last thing you want to have to do is take responsibility for your form of like a shell of a self, because that's exhausting. The process of that kind of recovery and bouncing back from that is shit. And that can sometimes also be like that second thing of Saturn, which is like the reality of like going through a hard time and learning a lesson. Is that like, it's not just one and done. And it's not something that you can just know. Like this is also like the frustrating thing about Saturn is like, you're not in an air sign, babe. You don't just get to know it and then be fine about it. Like that's life. That's the hard thing about being a human being, is that you can go through a situation and you can accumulate knowledge and you can think that you know everything that you know, but it doesn't stop the process of having to learn it time and 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 time again. Sometimes it does like I don't know, like I say that, but then like I also get flashback to like Sunday, where it's like I found myself, and then I was like, oh, this is what, like I came into the recognition of what was going on and like remembering and being like, oh, okay. And so sometimes you can snap back, but like if you're in a situation like my bestie, the bounce back isn't as fast. And it's not anything on her, that's just what a different journey looks like, and I have been there. Like we all have experiences that look the two different ways, and there's probably a dozen more, but reality's harsh sometimes. It doesn't make it easy, but sometimes your mind can help you once you do become aware of what's going on. It doesn't change anything, but what can make things feel easier is shifting perception. Like if you can get some of the air in there to help you, is like, and I guess what helped me on Sunday is that realization. My situation did not change, but my perspective of it and my acceptance of it did. That's the only thing you really ever can change. And that's, for my bestie, that was coming to the realization of like why her body and her mind feel this way, accepting it. And like, that's not easy, being like, oh my God, okay, I actually have to accept that what I've been going through recently has really impacted me. And that's a tough thing. It's a tough pill for an outside to swallow, is that like you can be impacted by things, but it is what it is. So if you accept it, you go, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. How do I work within that? How can I be okay with what's going on? And how can I make it my life? And how can my life then be something that I'm happy to be in? And for her, it was relabeling and like restructuring or reframing this week as like, not like a weekend for like she's gonna like go out and have fun and have everything like amazing. It's crash out week. That's what it is. For me, it was, okay, it's a home day. And that is the most empowerment I think I could feel. And that is the most empowerment I think my best friend can feel. And if you're in one of those spots, like I said, like, it's your call and it's your judgment, I guess. It's like your discernment to like figure out whether or not this is something that you can challenge and change and address your tolerance, address the reality of who you are. But also consider whether this is something that you can look at, accept, and then work within and learn how to grow something within that restriction. Because then you'll find often the restriction is no longer a restriction, and it just is life, and it just is your environment, or it is your reality or your circumstance, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is for you, your job, your relationship, your community, whatever it is. And then you'll actually find that once you surrender to that, there's actually a lot that you can work within. Like, you're not just facing a wall. There's actually the side of the wall that you're on has a whole other room, has a whole other field. It's actually not a wall, it's just a fence. And for me, it was hopping that fence. I got into an even smaller pen and I was like, this is shit. I actually leapt into further restriction, which was hilarious. Like, sometimes the restriction isn't placed around you, it's placed around the thing that you don't actually want to go into anyway. You know, the whole like rejection of the redirection, that thing. And I don't know, if you need to be reminded about it, it's not a fault of you. It's not like you, it's not a sign that you're doing something shitty in your life. It's not a sign that you've made a wrong choice. It's not a sign that you're not doing well. It's not a sign that what you want isn't yours. It's not a sign that what you want you can't have, but it is a challenge to change yourself a bit, to shift your perspective, to face reality, to accept what you can, and to work with what you've got. And that's okay. And that doesn't have to mean anything. That doesn't shine a light onto like you. It's not a judgment of you. It's not a judgment of your life, of your choices, of your passions, whatever. It doesn't mean anything deeper than that lesson. Sometimes we can internalize stuff. Anyway, that's all. Just a reminder. I felt like I needed it. Bestie needed it. And if us two needed it, maybe some of you did too. Just be on the journey with us. It's all good. We're all here. We're all doing it. Probably in different ways. You're probably feeling a different thing. Who knows? That's up to you. Again, it's your discernment. It's your lesson. It's your thing. Yeah. Hope you have a good time. Have a good week. Have a good life. Be safe. I hope safety and security follows you. Bye.